All right, guys, how are you doing today? My name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton Sihon. I am the host of Dr. Sharnael True TV. We have a very fun episode here today, and I'm really excited and delighted to have a new guest here with us. Maria Malec is here, and we are going to be talking about thriving and how that can be the new normal, not just something that we get if we try really hard and struggle, but something that's easy and fun. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody, just do all the fun things like hit the likes, make the comments, help the algorithm as much as possible. We do have a subscribe button that helps us a lot too. For whatever reason, we've noticed that like 60% of the viewers that come find us never hit subscribe, and that really does help us out. So if you guys can hit that subscribe, you'll also get the notifications of different things we're doing, as well as member meetings and different specials that we have through our website and or offerings. If you choose to be a member, we do have a membership program. It's as low as $4.99, and you get a lot of extra content, as well as we have member meetings, we have giveaways, we have discounts on my website for workshops and books and different things too. So all of those links will be provided, as well as Maria's information and how to find her. So without further ado, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and kind of tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're doing in the world, and how you got here. Miss Maria, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here because I believe in this day and age that we're living, we really need to start changing our mindset to a culture of health and wellness. And I like to call myself a lifestyle and wellness architect because by the time I meet people, they're pretty well established in what they're doing in their lifestyle. And I like to say I come in and help them renovate to get in better control of their health, their home, and their habits. Along with that, I have been teaching health and wellness for over 20 years and showing people how to live a full sensory life and consciously educate them on our bodies and how we're created to self-heal. And I'm also a part-time chef. I like to cater small gatherings, retreats, and things of that nature. And I'm a speaker and an author. And we can talk about all those things, as we get into it. But really, it's about helping us thrive in this day and age, just as a result of our everyday choices. No extra lotions, potions, all those things are great. But ultimately, when we learn that this is our temple and that there's so much potentiality within us that we don't have to go outside of ourselves too much in order to establish vitality.
Yeah, so interesting that you brought up thriving. What does thriving look like to you?
Well, thriving is what I said earlier, is just being able to be healthy in my own skin, in my life, in all areas of my life, just by virtue of my everyday choices. That I don't have to struggle to be healthy, guided with the Holy Spirit. I myself am able to navigate life more easily, self-regulate more easily, get in and out of difficult mental situations a lot easier. And doing that with the God-given resources that are already available to us. I think we make life, or a lot of people make life too difficult, overthink it, think we need all these things, equipment and products to enhance or optimize our lives. And I don't really think we do. And for the past 25 years, I've raised my family, 5 children, all holistically, teaching them about nature, getting outside barefoot, making life a playground, basically. And then making really informed choices about the things we put in and on our body, reading labels, and making discernments on what's going to either elevate our lives or bring us down. And I work on the elevation part.
Well, you mentioned some free ways to thrive, and you mentioned nature. What are some other ways that are, quote, free?
Our breath, the ability to change our minds, not to get stuck in a rut and think this is the only way of thinking, moving our body, creating a home that elevates our wellness, that nurtures our body through color, sound, water, the way we set up our homes, the way we take care of our bodies, and then movement. Any kind of movement, even if you're cleaning your home, that's an opportunity to nurture your body.
Very cool. And I know you've written a couple books. You want to share a little bit about your
Sure. This one's called Self Mastery Made Easy, and it's the road to discovering your true self. And I actually use it as a tool in my classes. So the back of the book is just all empty lines, and the front of the book are 118 journal prompts on how to get to know yourself. And in my class, it's a tool in that we use it. They can take notes in it, and then everything they need, they're taken back with them. And I feel that in this day and age of social media and all this information bombarding at us and comparing ourselves to other people, that most people don't really know who they are at the core of themselves. And I feel this book is a really great way to jumpstart it. You don't have to fill out everything in here. It's just to get you to activate your mind and thinking and self-reflection and truly getting to the heart of who you are. I think that's probably the most important thing. And then you can make a decision on how you're going to evolve, how you're going to grow and become a better version of yourself than you ever thought you could. And then the second book, which is a follow-up tool, which I also use in classes, is Feel Better with Less Work. Seriously, I believe it's possible. I live that way in my life. And it is basically a framework on the 5 pillars that I have been living by for the past 25 years. And the reason I got into all this health and wellness to begin with was that a family member got seriously ill as a result of a medical procedure. And that threw me down the rabbit hole for natural health and wellness and not using conventional medicine and all the things that the medical industry right now offers us. And it's funny, I used to tell my kids, if mom can't fix it in 3 days, then we'll go to the doctor. I think there was one time that we ever had to do that, and that was over a broken bone. So I couldn't fix that in 3 days. We ended up going to the doctor. But typically, they didn't have to. And sometimes, much to their chagrin, they didn't have many days off of school because they were hardly ever sick.
That's
so
funny.
that was a good thing. I mean, I went through so many trial and error. I feel like my family was a very beautiful experiment in health and wellness. Whatever I learned, I applied, I tried it, I saw what worked and what didn't work. And what I found is, which is the key, I think, for a lot of people's transformation, is there's too much stuff out there that's one size fits all. And I like to, when I work with someone, to help them assess their personality, the way they like to learn, the way they like to receive information, and then apply the framework to their personality. So nothing is one size fits all. And I'm working on a course right now. It's a 10-week course with a couple weeks extra in there to actually execute this framework and to work with people within their own personality and their own learning style and based on the things that they like and don't like. This framework works for everybody. And the 5 pillars are mindset. It's the first thing we got to work on. We got to change our old mindset into a new mindset, into a healthy culture mindset. Then we address what I like to call, the habitat, your home, how you set things up, how your home is decorated, what's in your kitchen underneath the sink, what's in your laundry room, what's in your bathroom, what's in your pantry, what can we do to renovate that so that it'll support your health and wellness just by virtue of being in your home. A lot of people have plugins and scented candles, and they're not even really connecting the dot to their own health issues. I know there's a lot of people who they get rid of the plugins and all of a sudden they're not having any more symptoms. It could be something as simple as that because they're just not aware of it. And so they can't connect the dots that, something that makes their house smell good is actually making them not well. And then we address the body, internal purification. How can we build, nurture, and support it? And then get the stuff out of the house that's really just unacceptable to the body. Food, personal care products are just information. They're just information that our body uses to either sustain our wellness or to make us sick. So we evaluate all those things. And then I also, the 4th pillar is spirituality. Who are you believing in? What voices are you hearing? What things are affecting your mind, your heart? Are your heart and your brain in alignment? Are you working from a place of coherence or chaos? And then the last pillar is movement. And that could be exercise. And my favorite is just functional exercise. Whether you're sweeping or shoveling or cleaning windows, stretching and bending, those are all functional exercise, in my opinion, or movement that's going to help support your life in the long term, stretching, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned, and the title itself actually says, you get to work less, but get more done. So what is the working less? Like, how do we remove the work part?
First, it's awareness. Beyond anything, evaluating how you do things. And to take the work out of it. And of course, up front, when you're learning something new, it's going to seem a lot harder and it's going to seem like a lot of work. But my thing is something my dad taught me a long time ago is system, order, structure, SOS. So setting up a system for everything you do. For instance, if you want to get, we like to use essential oils. We like to use them in our water. And if someone's like, well, I just forget. Every time I get my water bottle, I forget. So let's set up a system and make sure that next to your water bottle is that essential oil that you want to put in there. Setting up systems like that. I do a lot of mental cues for myself. For instance, let's say I go shopping, I'm unloading the groceries, and I have a section in my pantry for different things. Like here's the pasta, here's the snacks, here's the baked goods, whatever it is. And then as I'm putting things away, I'm making a mental note. For instance, putting the pasta on the left-hand side in the pantry. And I say to myself, okay, I'm putting the pasta on the left-hand side on the shelf. Or I'm putting something new and I'm like, I'm putting the vanilla in the cabinet next to the salt and the cayenne. And I'm making a mental cue so that when I go in the cabinet, oh, there's the vanilla. It's next to the salt and the cayenne pepper, whatever it was that I told myself. And I set up my purse this way. I set up my suitcase this way. I'm like, okay, when I open up my suitcase, all my underwear is going to be in the zipper portion on the right-hand side. I'm going to put all my socks on the left-hand side. I'm going to put my shoes in the bottom right-hand corner. I mean, I know it sounds kind of weird, but when you give yourself those mental cues, then every time you go to that spot, you're going to recall it all the time. And the other thing I do is I use essential oils to help create new neural pathways or imprinting things on my brain. So when you go in my kitchen, it's going to smell a certain way. In the bathroom, it's going to smell a certain way. And it just sets up my brain and my physical environment in a way that I'm cued in when I go there or when I do something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have something similar, maybe not to the regiment, 100% that you have, but with my suitcase, I travel a lot, and there's always two zippers on, that can be here or there or wherever. And I always, if the suitcase is standing up, I always zip them to be at the top. So when it's laying down, I always know where to go to get my suitcase. And my kids and my husband and or whoever, they'll just have them at the bottom or on the side or whatever. And then I have to sit there and try to find like, well, how do I unzip this? And I always tell them, just put them at the top. Then you always know they're at the top. But yeah,
Right.
I could see that being a system with a lot of other things, like you said, with the pantry and whatever. I have something similar with my bookcase. I'm not so systematic in the pantry, maybe a little bit, but definitely not so much in the packing portion of things. But I just recently redid all of my library of my books and, put all the authors together with subjects and, that way. So I mentally know like, this is a section for health and this is a section for rum beer. This is a section for, the subconscious or whatever, or just what, so I could see how those systems would take the work out because you don't have to think about it. You're just
Right.
like, this is where it goes. And instead of like mentally spending energy on like, how do I do this?
Remembering it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even as easy as having a hook for your keys. People are looking for their keys all the time. Well, if you put it in the same spot, as my dad says, a place for things and things in their place. And I really subscribe to that. And I know when people are messing with my stuff because it's not where it belongs. I mean, even in my purse, I could go in there with my eyes shut and reach and get things out. So it's really just a matter of setting things up right the first way and then letting your family know about it. It doesn't make any sense to set up a system and then you're the only one who follows it. And in the long run, everybody really likes it because they know exactly where things are. They know exactly the procedure. When my kids were little and we had a van full and we were going to a party or whatever, I would tell them, okay, this is what's going to happen. When we go to the house, we're going to do this. We're going to take our shoes off and then we're going to, whatever it is. And then when I give you the eye or when I give you the signal, that means 10 minutes and then we're wrapping it up and we're going. So everybody is on board and everybody knows the situation. And I guess for having 5 children, you have to do it that way. Otherwise there's going to be a lot of chaos and a lot of tears and a lot of aggravation. And I'm about reducing the aggravation and just living more in flow. And when you set it up, then you have the freedom to live in flow. It's not just like willy-nilly, haphazard, being a wandering generality. Everything has its place in order. And, it's like a business or, a system out in the world that everybody knows, when the light is red, you stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know you said that you have to live that way with 5 kids, but I actually know people who have even one kid that have no systems whatsoever. So it is a choice. And
sure.
um yeah, just like my dad always had the scissors in a certain spot, and if he would go in there and the scissors weren't there, it would be hell to pay for all of it. Like, where's the scissors? And I find myself doing the same thing. It's like, lights go off when you leave the room, and cabinet doors get shut when you open them. And when doors are open or lights are on or the scissors are missing, I literally see myself like doing some of the same things my dad did. And he's, what is that about our parents that we do that? But I think there's a sense of security
Sure.
in just ourselves, but in what we can replicate with our children and in our home when people know the end somehow.
Sure.
It's like, okay,
Mhm.
this is how it's going to end up. And there's like an ease in the body automatically because we're
Yeah.
kind of know how it's going to work out. Just like a GPS. Like we can have a GPS, but if we don't know where we're going,
Right.
how do you know how to get there?
Mhm.
But if you know where you're going and you have the address, then it's like, oh, this is going to tell me where to go, and we're fine. So, well, what would you tell people who are at the very beginning stages of trying to make things more orderly and more at ease? Like, where do you start when you work with people?
The very first place I start is the only assignment I will give someone is, after we talk about the 5 things that we're going to work on, is to go home and start noticing how you do things, noticing the products that you're doing, noticing your behaviors and your reactions. And, when you come home, how do you feel? Do you feel comfortable in your space? Does it feel chaotic? Is it relaxing and calming? Does it nurture you? Because our home should be our haven. We come in from the outside world, which is pretty chaotic right now, and it should be a place that we want to be, that we're comfortable in. And then I get back with them and I say, okay, so what did you discover? What did you discover about yourself? And where do you think is the first place that you want to start? And it's different for everybody. It's like someone's like, my home is just chaotic, and I don't know how to make it better. And then it starts with many discussions, and it talks about who they are and what they're looking to achieve. And really, I think that it's great to get your body in check, but first let's get where you are. Let's get comfortable. Let's feel like your home is the best place to be, and you don't even want to leave. You don't need a vacation from your home, or you don't need a vacation from your life. And I talk to everyone about, well, are you experiencing your home? I have a waterfall outside on my patio. My home is very colorful, and I always have a diffuser running, and there's beautiful sounds going on. And I can tell you honestly, a lot of people will come into my home, like as soon as they walk in, they're like, oh, I feel that's the way you should feel in your home. So it's really just awareness and evaluating what's going on in your home situation. I mean, they may have to start with their mindset, but if they're already interested in working with me or the program that I have, then their mindset is already evolving. It's already changing. And then we just talk about the things that they need to tweak. I don't know about you, but there was a day when I would just obsess and obsess over things. And then having to teach them ways to get through that.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start, because even with traveling and staying in a lot of hotels, I bring my own diffuser. I have a little like whole tones thing with does music, and
Mm-hmm.
we have a little ozone plug-in, and all of these things. And it's interesting still when I come home, there is a sense of like, yay, I'm home, but also I've got a bit of work to do as far as the clutter, because I can kind of feel, when you're in a hotel, there's like hardly anything in there, very minimal,
Right.
not any stuff. And I feel like I can work easier, get ideas more. Um, and it might be a mindset too, because I work at home. And so
Right.
uh, when I come home, sometimes there's this feeling of like not being able to rest, because I work
Right.
in the same space that I live too. So the energy might be a little different than if I'm at a hotel. So oftentimes I literally have to go somewhere, or feel like I have to go somewhere, to just get an idea or to get that creativity going, just to have a new environment,
Mm-hmm.
or go outside in nature, like you mentioned, just getting grounded and being outside and having, a different space of an environment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could see why having some sort of like organized space and or minimal stuff, clutter and things. Bob Proctor was a big stickler on making sure like your office was impeccable, and that your desk didn't have a bunch of stuff everywhere like mine does right now, actually. But yeah, so that, I think that's cool that that's where you would start, because I think your outside is very much a reflection of your inside. And if there's a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of stuff going on out here, usually
E-
all here too. So if we clear this, then this can think and slow down and not have
Exactly.
so much energy of like so many things everywhere.
I'm a
But
big fan of baskets and folders, and I love going to Staples, and I love buying stuff to organize things and making sure things are labeled. And in my home, because I live in Florida, we have a lanai, which is an outdoor porch, and it's screened in. So that's my sanctuary place. When I need to get out, so you can create a corner in a room or in your bedroom or somewhere in your home that's away from your desk that you could kind of escape to. And so I am forever, even when it's cold here in Florida, I can go outside. There's, furniture out there where I've even slept out there. So that's my sanctuary place.
awesome.
And you can create it anywhere, honestly, but
Awesome. Well,
it's
tell us.
intentional.
Yes, yes, it is. And again, going back to mindset and even the subconscious of like not even knowing what we're thinking or what we're feeling unless we're being aware of what those things are. Um, Tell us how people can find you, how they can work with you, where to start, like where they can get your books and your resources. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are listening that are just like, you know what, that's me, help me, I need it.
I hope so, because it's my mission that I've had for 2 years, called Taking Healthy Back, and helping you from ground zero, because it's been almost a 30-year journey for me, experimenting with my family so I can help you cut your learning curve by many years. And you can find me on Instagram. It's Taken Healthy Back with Maria. I also have a new website called Taken Healthy Back with Maria.com. I mean, everything is the Taken Healthy Back. You can also, on the website I just gave you, get this book in a PDF form for free, sent right to your inbox in your email, and we could start a conversation. I also have a link in there to schedule a discovery call and see if it's something you want to do. Maybe Maybe after you get this framework, you're like, hey, I could do it on my own. Or you can work with me for 12 weeks and it's not very intensive. It's more of a guiding than telling you what to do. You're the one who ultimately has to make the decision. You have to make the changes. You have to do the work. And we can find out together, who is it that you need to become to be that person who thrives in life? And what are the things that you need to do? I like to call it the be, do, have formula. You can only have after you do the things and become the person who can handle thriving every day. And I think we're all created to thrive. And once you hear and you see the framework, you're like, I could do that. I think everybody can do that with minimal work. Seriously.
Seriously. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much. And I hope that you guys who are watching will reach out and jump into some of these offerings that she has. Go to her website, find her on Instagram, check out her books, work with her, do all the things that, maybe the very thing that you've been looking for to make those shifts and permanent shifts. Sounds
Yes.
like that won't just be for you, but for your entire family. And
Yeah.
again, thank you so much for your service and what you're doing here on
Thank
the
you.
planet. And I know that we will see you guys around. Don't forget to hit the like, share, comment. I always like to know where you guys are from who are watching, because we're doing a little investigating to see, where you guys live and who our audience is. Want to know more about you. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the comments as well, and we'll do our best to answer. I'm sure Maria would jump on and answer any question.
Yeah.
And
Also, I just want to let everyone know I have a YouTube channel of the same name, Taking Healthy Back with Maria. And there's a whole bunch of podcasts and videos introducing you to alternative therapies and different things that you can do to sustain your health outside the mainstream. Because if it's not working for you, maybe you can find something that will.
awesome. Awesome,
Thank
guys.
you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great week. And we are here every Thursday at noon and sometimes extra bonus times. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit the subscribe so you get those notifications, especially for the extraordinary times that we get together. And love you so much. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you.